Ananta versus NTE is a bit of a conversation happening right now that I feel like is happening especially now because, well, NTE is out, and also there was a direct increase in pre-registration for Ananta after NTE's release, which speaks volume on people's excitement for Ananta after experiencing NTE. Because, well, let's call a spade a spade. A lot of these games are live service games. As soon as you finish the main story quest, you keep waiting for updates. And I feel like people were reminded by how good it feels and how fresh it feels to have a brand new game and try it for the first time, like going in fresh. That's a beautiful feeling that we don't get as often, especially when it comes to these big gacha titles. All right, they're very few and far between, and so I think people are reminded of that feeling, and they're not only reminded of that, but also Ananta is a very close, let's just say, we'll call it NTE Plus or NTE Pro Max. It's basically what Ananta is. It clearly is very much like NTE, but clearly has a little bit more freedom, different mechanics, a different way of approaching the game as well. Because as you can see, like in the gameplay trailers, you don't switch characters like you would in, for example, NTE, where they just teleport the moment you switch. No, it's like GTA, where you move to the other character's perception. And now how they're gonna go about making us get used to this new system is gonna be a little bit interesting, because we're all used to the Wuwa Genshin formula, really, where like we just switch, right? Like, and they're like you're all the characters in your team at once, like you're all of them at once. But it's not going to be the case in Ananta. So obviously Ananta has like a different type of approach, but it's kind of the same identity. Like NTE and Ananta are both trying to do the same thing, which is trying to be a open world GTA, like, where there's a lot of player expression, freedom that you can do in the world of said games. And now, because of that, I've also seen that players don't want to get too excited for Ananta, and the reason why is because they want to sustain the current sentiment, the current, let's just say, excitement they have for NTE, and not let the future releases get in the way of the current enjoyment, which I think is smart. When I really sat down and thought about it, I was like, wait, how are people not like excited for Ananta, especially like if you're an NTE player? It doesn't make much sense, but it actually makes sense when you think about it. Like, why would I bother with some shit that's not here yet when I can just focus on what I'm doing right now and have fun with what I'm doing right now? A lot of us like to keep our eyes in the future and not enjoy the moment, which I feel like is a huge flaw in ourselves, really, as people. So a huge shout out to the people that are doing this because they're grounded, disciplined, and understand. Like, you're not just this, hey, I just like Ananta because it has Hattori in it. I mean, that is a valid sentiment, but still. Now, before we get into the meat of it all, I just want to emphasize and make sure I'm clear where I stand when it comes to this particular conversation. I think both games benefit from each other. I think clearly Ananta is benefiting from NTE's release, as we can see from the numbers, man. But I think NTE will also benefit from Ananta, because there is no way in hell NTE developers are not seeing the direct competition that Ananta is going to be. Yes, it may not be a gacha, but it doesn't really matter, because ultimately, if you're an anime fan, you're probably playing Ananta. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, before we are gacha fans, we're not really fans of gacha, we're just fans of anime that happen to play games that are, they're good games that happen to be free, which is great, but unfortunately, we have to navigate the gacha system. So for a lot of us, we're gacha players not by choice, we just have to deal with it. But the moment there isn't, well, guess what? We're probably not going to be gacha players for too long. If more games like Ananta and have the same business model as Ananta, to be very specific, come out, a lot of us are going to be dropping out of gacha games and focusing on big anime title games. So my opinion is, as time goes on, I feel like before Ananta releases, we will see a lot of improvements in NTE. I feel like this conversation only makes NTE better, and that's ultimately what should be our goal as players. As where we're having these conversations, we should always go, so how can NTE adapt? Because here's the thing, why would you want one thing to be just directly better than the other when you can have them always competing with one another, one-upping one another, and both creating a better product that you, the player, can enjoy both? Because you're not limited to just playing one. We can play all of them. The whole point is to have fun. And to have fun, there's multiple approaches. But I feel like the more options, the more venues to explore as you try to have fun in this space, the better. So I feel like, personally, I think this is a great sentiment that if the NTE devs take advantage of it, man, oh man, we're in for a ride, and I'm happy for it. So I've seen this video. It's kind of what triggered me into wanting to make the current video right here. We have a good old sticks here going over Ananta vs NTE isn't even a fair fight anymore. I don't even think it's a fight. I don't know why people would try to make it a fight. This is not like Genshin and Wuwa. I feel like the sentiment in the gacha space has changed drastically since the Genshin days. I feel like players are more open to just having more toys to play with. Ultimately, a lot of us must have noticed that when it's game time, baby, we don't have a lot of things going on, and I feel like the more things we have, the better. Also, this thumbnail is crazy. Anyway, let's get into it.
Tribalism is everywhere. You can only like Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves. You can only like Ananta or neverness to everness.
No. Who? What? No. I'm not making fun of sticks. I'm making fun of the sentiment here. No, that's crazy. Here's the thing, man. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel like tribalism has become so cringe since 2024. Like since Wu was released, like after that has settled and Wu has made its place in the space, tribalism has just become this weird thing. Because here's the thing, tribalism has started because of just a weird dynamic online, like where people just want to virtue signal and get like some extra points in comments and replies and shit like that. It's like, oh no, Wu is gonna fail. Genshin, best game ever, because they, like I keep saying, they attach their own self-worth to the success of a video game they play, because they want to keep playing the most popular thing, because they think if they keep playing the most popular thing, they're gonna hang out with the most popular kids, etc., etc. It's more of a social thing that people use to best adapt, all right? Because the sad reality is a lot of people in the anime space especially, they're not the best socially, to say the least, all right? I feel like a lot of us, I'll speak for myself first. I was not the best socially at a younger age, man. I was dying for friends and stuff. Like I still do. I feel like I haven't really outgrown that part because of how thirsty I was for a long period of time in my younger age. Thankfully, I'm pretty well fed now, especially thanks to you guys. Huge shout out to you guys DMing me, be like, hey, have you checked this out, this or that, joining discords, etc. I really appreciate it. The reality is a lot of players have not outgrown that particular part in their life. It's still not fixed, and you can see it online. Also, this cosplayer is crazy. Yo.
Well, I have something that you need to hear. I have information here that is going to be pertinent for your gaming future. It is okay to like both. You are more than capable of enjoying.
I think you should enjoy all of them. I'll be honest, I'm very sad I can't enjoy Genshin anymore. I do. I hold Genshin it has a special place in my heart. It really does. And the reason why it does is because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Genshin. A lot of players wouldn't even be in the gacha space if it wasn't for Genshin. Whilst Genshin has disappointed us because we expected more out of it, the reality is, I feel like I met incredible people through it. I've had tons of fun through it. I remember the excitement, the passion I had with it. It was a great time, man. It was a great time, and I'm not gonna shit on them just because the game had. Let's just say, well, that's not necessarily the game. It's because, well, I guess we can say we've outgrown the game. I guess we can say that. That's definitely a sentiment I think a lot of people may resonate with. But also the devs just. We couldn't stand idly by seeing how the developers treat us, the players, and like keep taking it. Even though some people I know, like they still kind of enjoy it, but that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Where it's like, you know what? I could still play it, I could still enjoy it, but the reality is these devs, man, I feel like I'm being this, this treatment, man. This poor level of treatment is not it for me. So I'm just gonna dip out, which is fair. So. The reality is, I don't know why people will just keep doing this, but I feel like I've seen a lot of you guys, especially in my comments. Like, I think there's a new wave of people in this space, and I'm glad that this is the type of community we're cultivating over here. Where it's like, man, we don't give a fuck, bro. Like, hey, if there's fun, if there's somewhere where I can just enjoy myself, have a good time, I understand that ultimately these games are here for my enjoyment, for my amusement. And I proceed accordingly, and I discipline myself and I ground myself to not let these online sentiments of people that are clearly, let's just say, lost, for a lack of a better word, influence me. All right. And a huge shout out to a lot of you guys that I've seen in my comments and stuff. Like I'm seeing some very quite based individuals out here in the gacha space. That wasn't the case a year ago. So huge shout out to you guys.
More than one game. There is enough space in the genre for more than one game to exist. Coexistence is totally fine.
I would say it's a must. Hold on. I feel like people are even missing the point. You need coexistence because you could... Bro, I log into WoW for 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's my game time. That's it. There's no progression for me to do. I don't like the events. I'll keep saying it. They're hit and miss. Like sometimes they'll hit us with a good one. 3 to 5 times later, they'll miss. That's basically my song and dance with events in WoW. So like, I don't even count that as game time. A lot of the time, I'm like, the things I do for my 2D anime baddies, man. I gotta deal with some shit I don't even want to do because it gives you the premium currency so that I can try and guarantee myself my 2D baddie, man. God damn it. But yeah, like besides that, like I want more. Since NTE's release, I'm having more enjoyment. I would say though, NTE should add more post-game stuff. But that's gonna come later. Like right now it's 1.0, let them cook, but I'm starting to notice like I just get the money from the cafe. I could be doing things wrong. Let me know in my comments. I get the money, do the dailies, stamina, of course, and I think that's it. I just dip out. Yeah, I don't know if that's enough or not. I'm working on bosses and just preparing for Hunter level 40, but I'm not too sure if there's more I should be doing. Let me know in the comments. I should make a live stream, especially for Grandpa Unk support needed. Because I need some of you guys to get me on game with NTE, man. I'm pretty sure there's a lot I'm leaving on the table.
In this instance, Ananta versus NTE. Personally, from my perspective, as someone that has played hours of Ananta at Tokyo Game Show on numerous different days, and has played NTE for pretty much every state of its development process.
Yeah. This is gonna be big. Sticks, man. Lay it on us, man. Lay it on us.
Ain't even close. Here's why. Ananta is being developed by Naked Rain and NetEase Games. Neverness, Everness is developed by Hada Studio and Perfect World Games. They are both free-to-play, urban, open-world anime action RPGs. They are both also often called anime GTA. I personally think that NTE is not nearly as GTA as Ananta. I think NTE is much more of a gacha game, when I think Ananta is much more of a single player with multiplayer aspects, more traditional AAA budget game.
Yes.
Thankfully, we love both styles of games. We're gacha gamers here after all. They both feature modern...
I don't know. Look, I've seen some of y'all in the comments. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend we're not a little bit gambling addicted. All right, we have a little bit of a gambling problem, chat. Leave it in the comments. Do you have it or do you not? I'm pretty sure a lot of us have a gambling addiction, at least to a certain degree. I'll start, especially with the NTE gacha system. God damn, that's a lot of fun. Like, I'm close to the Rainbow Bridge. Hold on. I could roll a 4. Get to the Rainbow Bridge. Can I roll a 1? Shit, because I'm close to the Rainbow Bridge. I got to roll. Right? So it's like, it definitely, NTE's gacha system has definitely shown me I do have a gambling addiction. I just didn't have the venues to explore it. But now in NTE's gacha system, I kind of do, and it's starting to show, man. But besides that, the reality is, I think for the most level-headed, grounded individual, like I keep saying, we're anime fans first. We enjoy anime as a media, and we enjoy video games as well. And if they can mix into one thing, hell yeah, we're gonna be there. Especially if it's free. I mean, hey, they're giving out the milk for free. Who are we to say no, right? And so, yeah, that's me personally, but I'm not going to sit here and deny what Styx is saying, because there's some real gacha gamers. They need the gambling aspect in their game. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I do ask myself the question of, maybe do I want the same? Because I'm kind of used to it. Maybe it's out of habit. It's quite the conversation to also have with yourself. I found myself having this conversation with this guy right here, and it's been quite the conversation. I'm not going to deny the fact that I'm kind of used to the gacha system, because I understand how to navigate the games and how to get stuff in the game, right? Like, it's like the fear of the unknown, because if there's no gacha there, well, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? Like, I gotta learn, I gotta read, fuck, right? So it could be just that, or I have a gambling addiction, or both.
They both have slice of lifestyle elements, supernatural elements, a lot of mobility, vehicle usage, character switching, exploration, side activities, live service updates. Sure, they're direct competitors, but they differ significantly in terms of focus. And
yeah, I love how he said direct competitors, because whilst NTE is competing with Genshin, Wuwa, etc., they're not direct competitors. This, Ananta and NTE, they're basically the same game. Those are direct competitors.
NTE is much more story-driven. It has supernatural and horror themes, a lot of RPG depth. Ananta, on the other hand, focuses more on...
I'm not gonna lie, the horror is starting to hit. Surprisingly, especially like this hospital anomaly. I'm not gonna lie, like I thought like I could just rush the monster. I was waiting for him. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm like, why would I have to deal with the horror when I can just one-shot you? So I'm just sitting there waiting for it to show up, and I finally see it. I'm like, all right, pull up. And I'm just rushing at it. Like, oh yeah, you think you're gonna scare me? Man, you don't know. I have a whole A1 Denali, bitch. Or I have a Hattori. I can stop time. You don't want this smoke. You do not want to catch these hands. And then you just die. And I was like, well, fuck. I guess I have to deal with the horror to clear this stage now, don't I? I couldn't do it. I suck at horror. All right, I'm a bit of a bitch when it comes to horror. I hate the effect of the music and the thematics can have on me. It pisses me off. I don't know. I feel like it's outside of my control. Maybe it's just because I'm a bit of a control freak. I don't know. But you know what? Maybe I'm just making an excuse. Maybe I'm just a bitch.
World traversal, the action combat. Ananta, of course, has not released yet. Some people are speculating 2026. I personally think it's probably going to release in 2027. NTE, on the other hand, released globally on April 29th. Ananta also seems much more humorous, much more chaotic. NTE
Absolutely
has a focus on anomalies. Once again, that supernatural horror theme is much more story-driven and has a very large focus on the narrative overall, while also providing you with a large city to explore. Ananta, on the other hand, is much more of a sandbox open-world action RPG than NTE is.
Dude, did you see the cinematic he's just showing? God damn, that's amazing.
NTE is dense. It has a story-rich city. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to explore. There are tons of side quests available. The weather actively changes. There's a lot of NPC interactions, a lot of anomaly events going on. Ananta, however, is a sandbox game. It has procedural elements spawning. It has complete and utter pure freedom. There are absolutely absurd interactions going on. One example of this is the racing toilets. There are tons of mini games. There are very eccentric NPCs. There are a lot of interactable environments. It's a lot less linear, I think, a lot more kind of just chill, relax, do whatever the hell you want to do vibe. NTE has climbing, it has swimming, it has driving. There are
complaints I've heard actually recently. Shouts out to the commenter. Before they should fix, because I talked about recently how they should help with transportation, kind of like what we've seen right now in the gameplay, like the Spider-Man stuff, etc. A huge problem I feel like in NTE's transportation is definitely climbing. If you don't have Nanali, climbing is a bit of a bitch. I don't think you can scale the cliffs as fast as you can with Wuwa. At least I've tried. Maybe I'm manipulating things wrong, but like they run up the wall for like 2-3 steps and then they have to hold. So like they're not obviously they don't work out as much as the Wuwa characters. Wuwa characters are, I don't know, they're very dynamic, but it's a bit of a complaint I've heard, and I was like, you know what? They're totally right, and it also showcases a huge problem and kind of rings an alert in gacha players' head, especially ex-Genshin players, where it's like, are they gonna unlock qualities of life behind the characters? It's like, okay, so if I don't want to scale the buildings, I need Nanali. If I want to stop time, Hattori is fine, I guess. But at least for traversal, it's very dangerous if they can just keep it for characters only. It's like, please don't do that. Don't go the Genshin route. Go the Wuwa route. We have gadgets to where we can fly. We have a motorbike that's not locked to any character, etc., etc. Like we'd really appreciate that.
Special abilities, you can fish, you can own your own home, you can run your own business. There are numerous different vehicles that you can purchase.
Asian parents will be proud. You can run your own business. That's right. Start a business.
Where you cannot wall run outside of Nanali, the little pink hair girl, and the dog. You can technically run horizontally, but you cannot run vertically. In Ananta, you can run vertically, you can run horizontally. It has absolutely unfiltered, unlimited parkour. You can fully wall run, climb, you can swing through the streets from building to building, Spider-Man style. You can grapple. There are normal bicycles, motorcycles, cars, other methods of traversal, vehicles that aren't limited to these. The traversal integrates seamlessly, not only into the combat, but also the exploration with absolutely no stamina whatsoever. Little girl Taffy, she not only has a motorized scooter that she can turn into a hammer, but then she can turn the hammer into the motorized scooter. smoother.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Significantly more fluid, and I think
Yeah,
more
I think that's the term he was looking for. Fluid. There's a level of fluidity Ananta has that, and NTE still feels a little bit rigid. But I think it's kind of by design. A lot of people also said that in the comments, where NTE is by design somewhat slower. It's supposed to like pace you slowly for a certain type of players, because let's face it, not everybody is that fluid, that fast. Maybe some players get overwhelmed by how many options they have, etc. Like some players want something very simple, very casual, kind of like NTE, right? There's not too much depth to it, at least when it comes to the base level stuff. So that could be an argument. I did see that, and we gotta always keep in mind when you look at the different types of games in the space, each of them offer something that almost the same, especially in the gacha level, but they offer different approaches. So whoever has a certain preference can go to that place. That's why I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Genshin, even though like WoA is a superior product, right, for the normal gamer, like it's obviously WoA is clearly better, whether it's the graphics, the combat, etc. Clearly, WoA is better than Genshin. It was literally tailor-made and designed to beat Genshin. But the reality is, not all gamers will vibe with WoA and what WoA is trying to do. Some players are slow, more kind of new wave of gamers. They're not as sweaty, right? They're not that attracted to maybe the art style of WoA, to the combat style of WoA. They want something simple, normal, like Genshin Impact, at least, right? So what I'm trying to say is the best type of reality we can ask for is for us to have all of these games coexist with one another. So that way, when you want to introduce someone to a free-to-play model game, they get to choose which one resonates with them the best. That's what I think should be the sentiment that we all should push for, where all these games should try to not only one up one another in terms of developer to player relationship, but also for them to remain as solid as they are, coexist with each other, so that we as players have more venues to explore, like I said at the start. So yeah.
For hero-like, where NTE is a lot more grounded, the combat between the two is completely different.
This is going to be the fangirls when this guy comes out. I don't know if you guys heard, but the girls are going crazy over the male MC in Ananta.
Different. NTE is a fast-paced third-person hack-and-slash game. You have your basic attack, you have your individual character skills, and then you have your individual character ultimates. You swap, you trigger an intro or outro ability. There are individual synergies, and that's pretty much it. Ananta, on the other hand, is much more cinematic brawler style. You have environmental takedowns. The combat for each character is different. So as an example here, the main character fights like a character out of Sifu. There are watchdog elements. You can pick up weapons off the ground. You can
watchdogs, like you can hack stuff,
knock a weapon out of the hands of an enemy and take their weapon and then start beating them with it. Yo, I don't mean to interrupt the video, but I need to take a moment here to thank all my incredible patrons over on Patreon.
Oh, huge shout out to the patrons, man.
Continues to allow for me to do regular videos like this every single day on this channel. Thank y'all so much, including our YouTube channel members. You guys mean the world to me. So do you guys as viewers as well. Now, without further ado, we
appreciate you, baby.
There are traversal integrated attacks, like you can swing in, you can smash, you can grapple out, you can use.
We can smash you.
Pick enemies up, you can shoot. Unlike in NTE, you don't just have 3 or 4 characters that you can swap to at any point. They just immediately take the spot of the character that you're controlling.
Exactly.
Each character in Ananta is in a different part of the world. So much like GTA, if you swap to another character, the other character might be engaged in something completely different. They might be doing a heist. They might be in a fight. They might be playing basketball. And
exactly. Like you don't know what they're on, and the moment you have to be on your toes when you become them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the shift for us that are used to just, all the characters are with you, to you just change to them. It's going to be quite a little shift, and it's going to be interesting. Let's see how they get us used to it.
They're out there living their life and coexisting in the world alongside you. That is completely different. Both work great.
Damn, what the hell, bird? That is so mean. An old lady, god damn.
But both are completely different and should not be compared. The vast majority of characters and all upcoming characters in the future in NTE are going to be gacha. The gacha is actually very forgiving and very friendly. Their guarantee is actually at 90. There's no 50-50 whatsoever, which means that actually acquiring these characters is relatively easy as long as you're actively playing the game. In Ananta,
yeah, also I noticed, I feel like NTE strongly encourages an A1, because you have guarantee there's no 50-50. So like if you have any additional pulls, you can invest in an E1, because not only can you just get the E1 for cheaper than you would the other games, especially the other Genshin models where they still have the 50-50, but also you get to choose which effect you get to apply in your character, which makes the character somewhat more flexible. I don't know about you, but I really found myself always considering A1s looking at the future and NTE. It's quite impressive. It goes to show how annoying and how bad the fucking 50-50 system is.
However, there is no character gacha whatsoever. All characters are unlocked naturally via story progression. Outfits in NTE seem to be for each individual character, whereas outfits in Ananta are a one-fit-all style, meaning that every character can use the same outfits. If you have a tiny bikini for one character, every character, big and small, regardless of
damn, look at that.
Or size, is going to fit into that same bikini style. Same with the male characters. NTE has plenty of gacha in it. Ananta seems to, other than the character gacha, have gacha for relatively the same option.
I think the gacha is going to be for the skins. Wait, hold on. Let me hear that again.
Characters. NTE has plenty of gacha in it. Ananta seems to, other than the character gacha, have gacha for relatively the same options. Vehicle skins, furniture, cars, outfits. It's impossible to say which is going to be more free-to-play friendly. Since there's no character gacha in Ananta, one would then be led to believe that no matter the price, it's going to be more free-to-play friendly regardless. Both have
so there it is. It was so obvious. Okay, they sustained the gacha system, but at least in skins. And I feel like that's the best approach, in my opinion. I'll be honest. But it's like I said, like if the only thing players lose out on is like the value that you feel when you have a certain character in your roster, but I don't think that should matter because that's just the conditioning that these gacha games have made to us and we have to recognize it. But besides that, like I feel like this is just a massive W.
A lot of mini games, a lot of side content. They have a heavy emphasis on driving, chases, vehicle customizations, vehicle skins. There's going to be housing and personalization.
God damn!
NTE has multiplayer open world exploration where other people can join your world. It is very limited though in terms of what you can do. Like you can race other players, you can run around together, but I hope they do expand on this in the future because
I mean, co-op is basically something that's just dead in gacha games.
Currently, it is very finite. The amount of things you can do with other players is very finite. In Ananta, however, it is going to be much more multiplayer focused. It is going to have a fully fleshed out PvP system. It is going to have and essentially function similarly to a kind of MMO
RPG, yeah.
Not your world, but the multiplayer style world that's going to be.
Well, a very popular thing I'm hearing about is GTA's online. Like GTA Online is incredibly popular. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but like at some point, like it was everywhere. Everywhere I go on the internet, it's there. So could be because of that. I mean, it has proven to be a very good system to it has proven to be a very good formula for GTA type games. So I mean, if they're emulating GTA, of course they should probably do the same thing with the online. Duh.
For people to engage in. They're taking a lot of inspiration here from GTA Online. NTE has very much so your normal gacha progression and daily loop. Ananta is not going to feature that. Instead is going to focus on sandbox replayability and a lot of freedom. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think NTE looks like a gacha game, feels like a gacha game, and ultimately is a gacha game. Whereas Ananta kind of looks a little like a gacha game, doesn't play at all like a gacha game, and is, for all intents and purposes, not a gacha game either. That doesn't...
Well, they just changed the formula up a bit, but if we still have to interact with some form of loot box mechanism to get skins and stuff, which is their monetization system, or like to maybe unlock a character earlier than we would by interacting with the game, it has gacha aspects, as in AAA title stuff, like microtransactions, but not like a gacha game. Because here's the thing, I feel like there's a small fine line between normal games, which all have microtransaction nowadays, and gacha games. Yeah, I think this is just a normal game, which has microtransactions, which are kind of gacha-y because the loot box system is kind of gacha when you sit down and think about it. Anything that's RNG is technically gacha. So some of them are just more gacha than others. That's why we call them gacha games. But the reality is everything has gacha, really. So by default, this is a mini gacha. Ananta is a mini gacha game if they have the loot box pull system for skins, etc. You still have to interact with the gacha system if you want certain aesthetics, right? But then again, they don't get in the way of progression / more importantly, the experience you have with the game. Though we have to see how hard it is to get the characters, to unlock the characters in the game, and whether or not they have a monetization system to unlock them. I'm pretty sure they probably will have this, but we'll see. Until then, we don't know. I'm just speculating out here.
Mean that one game is better than the other. We are gacha gamers, so we all love gacha. But that doesn't mean we can't like...
No, I feel like we're anime fans first. I don't know about that. Look, I'm pretty sure we have a little bit of gambling addictions, but I don't think we're fans of the gacha system first. We're anime fans. Shit.
non-gacha as well, and Ananta is going to have gacha elements, just not necessarily character gacha. At the end of the day,
Yeah, exactly.
I think having both games here competing with one another directly is going to provide a lot of room for growth, improvement, and innovation, because at the end of the day, one game is going to be trying to up the other game.
That's what we should be encouraging. W fucking sticks. This guy is so based. Yep, there it is. It's really not that complicated, chat. It's really not that complicated. Just keep it level-headed.
Make sure it stays ahead, to make sure that more people play it over the other.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, we all benefit from that.
Well, actually, they don't benefit from that because the reality is they need to get some upvotes and likes in comment section, and nothing beats having a bunch of people having a common enemy. Like when you create an enemy, nothing brings people more together than having a common enemy. Oh man, right? And it creates this community sentiment that a lot of people want to feel like they belong in, because like I said at the start, and I'll say it again, a lot of players over here, especially in the anime space, gacha, gaming, whatever, socially speaking, they're not really there yet. And to compensate for that, how they cope, they go about it like that. It's a bit sad, really, when you really sit down and think about it. I don't want to be insulting because I've been them before. I wasn't aggressive online or anything, but I know how empty and dark that feeling can be. So I'm not going to shit on them for that. If anything, I just hope they can just wake up to that. Maybe if you're one of them that's sitting here watching right now, feel free to reach out or anything. You can hang out. Our Discord is more of a people thing more than a gacha thing. All right, like if you just want to hang out, shoot the shit, talk with folk, we're here, man. But I feel like this coping mechanism is more destructive than it is helpful for you, and only benefits, let's just say, lost causes, to be totally for real, because I have seen lost causes in the space, which is sad to say, but gotta keep it realistic.
Which game is going to be better? Nobody knows. And at the end of the day, does it matter? You can play both. There are going to be what?
Well, it matters because of people's investment, because people are investing a lot in NTE, especially as a gacha. People are really spending money. And people don't want to feel like this is their best investment, especially guys. Guys know exactly what I'm talking about. For guys, time, especially money investment, is like, it needs to pay off or else it's not smart. And as guys, we all know if something isn't smart, yeah, I don't know if I want to keep doing that, because people want to go all in into something they fully enjoy and they feel like this is the best I can do. This is how a lot of guys operate. And if that's not going to be the case for NTE, a lot of players will be, let's just say, they will backtrack a little bit and go, you know what, I don't think I want to go all in. I'll just use this. This is going to be like a side game while the real baddie comes out, while I can get my main game. So yeah, I think that's a very important sentiment to keep in mind. That's why we have to encourage. I'm really waiting for 1.1 live stream and seeing the 1.2 updates, like when they start throwing a bunch of stuff at us. I feel like this is a critical moment for NTE that can make a lot of these players that I just mentioned go, well, you know what? Ananta definitely look hot. It definitely looks like quite the shit, but I feel like I might pick up just both, because obviously I have this right now. I can start enjoying this right now. And if I were to invest in this, they're clearly showing that they are worth the investment. So I might do both. But we'll see. I don't know how Ananta is yet, but it will definitely shift how a lot of players, especially guys, go about investing in the game.
6-week windows between updates. Play NTE, finish NTE, play Ananta, finish Ananta, play the new NTE,
exactly,
play the new Ananta update, go back to Wuwa, play Enfield, play Genshin.
There it is.
Do any of them, do
exactly.
All of them, just have fun.
100%.
That's really all that matters.
Bro, Styx is so based. Holy shit. I just thought like he just gave gacha news and stuff, but in terms of conversations, goddamn, yep, I'm with you 100%. But so yeah, man, I guess Styx is quite the based individual, man. Goddamn. Yeah, I think me and him are basically in the same ship. I think there's a new sentiment that's growing bigger and bigger in the space, which is very similar to mine and Styx right here, which is just players just want to have fun and interact with these games like they should be interacted with. And I think that's what we should be encouraging, really. I feel like tribalism is becoming definitely cringe. A lot of players are sick and tired of it. I think there's tribalism fatigue. And I'll be honest, man, I used to like participate in it because I thought like not participating in it means that we're just basically giving up and just giving the W to Genshin and bad dev practices. but the reality is it's not. If yes, sure, you can see it from that perspective, that's fine, but there's another perspective of some things is going to be the way they're going to be. Corpa is ultimately very different than just complaining to someone you know or something like that. It's clearly different. So we as players and we as consumers have to adapt accordingly. And yeah, I think we can always adapt by, let's just say, not only changing our approach and perspective on how we go about interacting with these products, but also respecting each other's tastes and not get into the whole chronically online toxic behavior you see, and not let it especially influence you. I think that's going to be very important. And also I feel like it creates the gacha space like is this small bubble, but I feel like you can create and learn a lot of discipline and really shape yourself to become an even better, more grounded person, which I feel like, I don't know about you, but that kind of sentiment resonates with me a lot. So yeah, that was me. I think ultimately we can only benefit from this if we have the right approach. I feel like we should be encouraging the developers to push for better, push for more, instead of just oh, we're good, like you don't have to do shit, we're just eating good right now. And then one day the very people that say that will be the ones to quit and go, well, obviously there's something better here. Let's not forget that it's not just corporate that can act a little weird sometimes. I have to admit that a lot of us over here, the consumer side of the equation, can be a little weird as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. A little bit of a rambling here and there, I apologize, but I just wanted to make sure I get all of this out. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Be seeing you.